Stalker, giant stalker, dragon stalker, crypt stalker, demon stalker, rift stalker, grown stalker, crypt stalker, scourge stalker, wind runner, I'm a pony, elite skill hunter. A death dealer, a life stealer, that's just the cost of being awesome sauce.
And welcome to episode 272 of the Hunting Party Podcast. I'm Darkbrew from thebrewhall.com and the Brew Hall on Twitter.
I'm Bendak from eyesofthebeast.com and BendakWow on Twitter.
All right, today is Monday, July 9th, 2018, and we are broadcasting live on twitch.tv, and you can participate in the live chat room, ask us some questions, and we'll try and answer them throughout the show. So, hey, it's good to be back again. We're still doing these sort of staggered ad hoc shows, but but we're here.
Yeah, so, trying to remember what we covered last time or what's changed since then.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I had sort of taken a little bit of a break through part of this expansion. So I kind of missed most of and Tourist, Burning Raid, and all of that. So I finally got back into it. So since the last show, just in-game for myself, I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I finally cleared Heroic and Tourist, I think, and just after two full clears, my item level went from 932 to 960 is where it's sitting at. So maybe 2.5 clears.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's the benefit of no one in the raid really needing gear. So that was nice.
Did you get the mount from Argus?
No, I've not gotten a mount from Argus. They don't have any of the trinkets either, so I'm still missing those. But I've gotten a couple of legendaries finally to drop along the way that I was missing, which was good. I actually got a legendary out of a Blingtron, which was, that's always fun, right? You're just, getting it's usually worthless junk, and I finally got a legendary to drop out of one of those boxes.
Which one?
It was the belt. It was the Roar of the Seven Lions, so it was a pretty good one.
Oh, wow, you're just getting that belt now. Damn.
yeah, I'm behind on some of these. But I've gotten the belt recently, and then bracers, and I forget what else. Since I've got 3 since the last time we did a show. Belt and bracers were there, and the neck. I got the neck, which isn't actually all that bad. Which is actually pretty handy. I got the neck just in time for me to go ahead and do the Mage Tower for Beast Mastery, because I hadn't done that yet either. So
Pride As.
Yeah, Pride As.
Oh, geez. Yeah, Pride As makes that challenge a lot easier, for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't in 960 eye level when I did it. It was a little bit higher than the 932, I think. But still, between that and the legs, that was pretty easy. Once you got the first guy down and you just had left with the worm, that part of it totally negated that whole thing. You should be kind of silly. Yeah, as you say, you just stand there and kill the thing. You barely take any damage. It's really kind of a joke at that point. But I was happy to get that done. And then I went and got the artifact weapon for survival. I haven't really looked at survival at all. I'll probably give that a go, at least play it a little bit in Battle for Azeroth, since it's changing enough that I didn't feel any point to trying to learn it right now. But I did go and get the artifact weapon, and I remember what you had said, Bendak, on the last show, that you could actually go and do it as Beast Mastery. So that's what I did. I stayed as Beast Mastery spec and went and got my survival artifact weapon.
Have you actually spec'd into survival yet?
Oh yeah, I've spec'd into it, and I put some relics in there just to sort of boost the eye level. But I haven't done much with it. I don't think I've taken a swipe with it yet. But it was nice to see that. And speaking of, so one of the things we wanted to talk about today was cover some things for the pre-patch. We think right now, July 17th, probably the most likely date for it to go live, which would be next week, I guess? Yeah, next week.
Yeah, I don't see it being any later than that, because then the pre-patch will only be 3 weeks, and that seems kind of weird with all the content they have for it.
Yeah, I would agree. And it's not like there's nothing to do in the pre-patch. There's some quest lines and things to do. I think and some of it's already out there now. The quest line, for the artifact weapons, where you could sort of like power down your artifact weapon, or at least start that process that's in the game now.
Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy buff.
Yeah, and it's still going up right now, right? So I think we're above 78. Is that right?
It's in the 80s, I think. It's like goes up, I think it goes up 1 per day.
Okay. We're in the 80s.
Is that right? 1 per day?
Yeah, so it should be way above what anyone else has gotten, and except for maybe like the the method raiders or something like that. I don't think anyone was at anything higher than what 82 was the highest I think I saw.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I haven't really paid attention much to it since that went into effect. Other went and did the quest and got the big boost, and of course they had to change the. I don't know why whoever decided to give it the animation that it did. Like we could go to the look at your weapon, see all the numbers and everything flying around and sparkling, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, they took away all that like the sparkly stuff. Now it's just the number going up.
Yeah, they still have the numbers going up, but nothing else.
Oh, probably somebody complained, or they had crashes or something.
I think I saw a complaint somewhere about seizures or something.
Yeah, it was like
okay,
risk or something, a seizure or something. That was why they got rid of it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's the concordance thing is pretty nuts. Like if you get like a proc on the pull, like just doing Antorus, like there's such a big difference on some of the bosses. It was just like immediately noticeable.
Yeah, and then Mage Tower is up until pre-patch. So there is no time, there is no wait time. If you need to get your Mage Tower done, go get that done.
Yeah, and do this quest too to buff the artifacts. It's going to make the tower even easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you definitely want to do the quest. It's fine. And it doesn't take very long. Just a little bit of traveling out to Silithus or wherever that is, where the big sword is, and that's that. Yeah, and it does. It gets a pretty big buff for your weapon, and that between that and I guess Antorus gear, if you're running that, should make doing the Mage Tower considerably easier than it was before. I mean, it's tuned for a much lower item level and power level than that.
I think Mage Tower is even tuned for only one legendary, if I remember correctly. Did it come out before the second legendary was a thing?
No, we had 2 legendaries. But
okay.
When it came out, like a well-geared person was like 900, 905, 910.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well, at the very least, our legendaries have gone up to 1,000, so that should make it easier. There are people who have done it on every single class. I think Wowhead has a couple of guides up from either one or 2 people who have done it on every class and spec.
Yeah, the hardest part of that, honestly, is leveling that many characters, because it's only a few different challenges spread across the classes. So once you've done it on one class, the same challenge, it's like, for example, the marksmanship challenge is the same as the frost mage challenge. So when I did that on my mage, it was like no problem at all, because I already knew the fight.
Mm-hmm. Did you use a pet on that one? Just curious. One of my friends did it without a pet, and I'm concerned that
I didn't use a pet.
Okay. Just curious.
And then once the pre-patch does go live, I guess we'll lose the artifact weapon will kind of be dead after that, I guess. Is that going to happen right on day 1 of the pre-patch? I think that's what the plan was.
As soon as you log in, you can still put relics in, but they just boost the eye level.
Oh,
so
you can still put relics in after the pre-patch?
Yeah, because they'll still drop.
Okay.
But, so if some people might have relics that are higher eye level, but they had crappy traits. So in that case, you'll want to use just whatever's highest.
Yeah, see, I've got some things like that in my bag where the eye level is higher than what I've got equipped, but I'm just hanging on to it for when it goes live, and then I'll just pop that in there for the eye level boost, knowing that the traits will be irrelevant after that.
Yeah, because even for Beast Mastery now, like weapon DPS is king. Like it didn't used to be for BM, but even for all specs it is now. because even your pet stuff gets buffed by that.
And one of the other things that happened is we are getting a few more stable slots. They gave us another page in our stable book that hadn't happened yet during our last episode. So we were still kind of complaining about that. Wondering if what, if anything, they were going to do with stable slots. So that was they sort of hot fixed it, if you will, and just gave us another page of stable slots. So not a ton, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, at least lets you get some new pets without deleting old ones. And I think there's like another reason people are going to want this, and that's the new Beastmaster talent, Animal Companion. So if you're a fan of having two pets like that look the same, so you made Hati look the same as your main pet, for Animal Companion, you can't do that. You have to have two copies of the same pet if you want them to be identical.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and I guess that makes sense, right? But I mean, it was kind of nice to have that orb that just transformed Hati into whatever you wanted. Although it wasn't a perfect replica, right? It still had the lightning effects, which was, good and bad in some ways. It depends whether or not you liked it, but that was a nice little quality of life thing that changed. That's sort of happening. That's not as ideal. And BM in the chat room saying, 2 Loquas would be hard to get now. Yes, that would be much harder to do now than it would be previously.
Yeah, speaking of that, I actually did that recently. I got a second one, and I got a second Arcturus bear, and second raptor, the one in Orgrimmar, and I think I got another one too. And I'll tell you my secret. It is going on RP realms.
Which are basically empty.
Completely empty. I couldn't believe it. Like, I just made a class trial, and once you go through the tutorial, you can just hearth out of there. And then I just took my class trial guide to Shalazar Basin, and then I created a group finder group with auto join. Then I go back on my main hunter, join that group. I get faced to the RP realm. No one there. I tamed like 5 spirit beasts. I got the Void Talon of the Dark Star. I got a couple other mount drops in Draenor, all in like a day.
So how did you get your main there again? What is this secret you've discovered?
So basically, you need a character on the RP realm, because you can only phase over there if the group you're joining, if the host of the group is on that realm and in the same zone as the one you want to get to. So I made a class trial of like just a hunter, took him to Shalazar, created a group finder group, and then I just put it to auto join, and then I logged out, logged on to my main hunter, searched for the group I created on the other character, joined the group, and then I was phased over to that Shalazar.
Oh,
that's pretty clever. Yeah, it's a great idea.
And you stay phased over there until you leave that group, or until you leave the zone.
Okay.
So yeah, just like there's a lot of RP realms, like just go to one of the lower population ones, and it's crazy. Like, I just like showing up and seeing Arcturus sitting there, like it's like that's not what you see. Like normally if you go there, there's like 4 hunters camping it.
Yeah, I have to say that to me, just because of its single spawn location, everyone knows where it is. He's easy to find, makes him very difficult to get. Yeah, I still think he's one of the harder ones to find at this point in Tame, just because people want him, and he just doesn't patrol. He doesn't have multiple spawn points, so it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, so I just tamed a couple extras of my favorite ones in case I wanted to do the double thing with Animal Companion. But after I've done this, they'll probably add something that lets you duplicate your pet anyway.
Yeah, I can't see them not doing this at some point, because they've always given us some sort of thing for our stables. Like what was the one for Stampede, where every pet was your first pet or something like that?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean they've done stuff like this, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't But it may show up in a later patch or something like that. Because hey, after all, we're going to have a 0.1 and a 0.2 and possibly a 0.3. So
yeah, they could definitely make a glyph for that, but we'll see.
mm. You ready?
And
are you ready to give up your flying mount though? I don't know that I am.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer not to give it up, but I'll be okay. I don't mind exploring the new zones on foot, then getting flying later.
Yeah, I think initially that's probably okay, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from, right? It's harder. It would certainly be hard to go back to not being able to fly in Legion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get it, you certainly don't want to lose it. But I understand why, right? It just makes it.
Yeah. No.
In some ways, it probably is more enjoyable. I mean, I think we would be. I think the questing would be a little bit more boring if you could fly right off the bat.
Yeah, that was Cataclysm. Cataclysm was a lot of fly-by-wire, or like just, there was a lot of underground zones that forced you to dismount in order to accommodate the forced questing.
I mean, now it's nice, especially doing some world quests and things where you can, depending on the quest, fly around and collect items and do things, and makes it much more efficient, much more faster. But
yeah. Speaking of leveling, I don't know, we might not talk about this today, but I was just going to mention those crafted legendaries, the gloves. I think they're called Vigilance Perch. I'd highly recommend getting a pair of those for leveling, because you just you get 25% movement speed. And when you're out of combat, you run at mounted speed without having to mount up.
It's like planeswalking.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, so get them while they're cheap before everyone realizes that they'll be good for leveling.
Mm-hmm. So, is there still the 2 legendary limit for equipping legendaries after the pre-patch?
Yep.
Okay.
And they don't work anymore at 116 though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was wondering what the plan was for that. I hadn't read up on that to see if they were going to get disabled in some fashion, but that makes sense. That once you reach a certain level, that they lose their value, stop working, you lose the procs or whatever, and you just phase them out naturally after that. But I guess that's a good indication if the 116 you said is the level, and is what 120 is the cap. So I guess maybe 116 is when we'd expect to see the Legion gear really start to suffer, perhaps.
Do you know what the translation is? From like 1,000, is 1,000 like 200 or 300 in the new squish?
1,000 is okay. I know the legendaries. The 1,000 level legendary is 265.
265. Okay, that's what I was trying to use as the bellwether, or that's not the right word. Whatever.
But the weird thing is the Pantheon trinket at 1,000 is 280.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you have if you were lucky enough to get like a 985 piece, it'll also be 265. It's a little bit of squishing going on.
Okay, so it's not like a 1-to-1 squish. It's slightly adjusted.
Yeah, and they're not all in multiples of 5 either. Like if you have like a relinquished piece, which were 910,
mm-hmm.
Those are like 192 now.
So like a 960 geared person, what would they expect to see going into BFA?
Like a 960 regular piece of armor is like 240.
Okay, so you should be around 240 going in then. Okay.
And the weapons are weird too, because you don't get those extra autos from the Crucible.
Oh.
Yeah, my weapon is 1,000, and then on the beta it's 252.
Gotcha. Because you lose all of the crucible effects. That makes sense. That means Insignia of the Grand Crusade is completely useless, right?
Oh, they changed it actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that now it just gives 2% damage and healing.
That's not bad.
Yeah, they changed all the ones that had tied to abilities that no longer exist. Like what's another one? There was the marksmanship cloak that worked with windburst. Now it just gives you a flat 3% haste.
Oh, this is a good segue into the tier changes. Do you want to talk about those?
Yes, hang on.
Okay.
So,
Trying to find them.
yeah, so the beast for tier 21, the beast mastery ones are the same. Marksmanship, 2-piece increases your attack power by 16%. 4-piece increases aim shot damage by 12%. So it's just passive stuff. And then survival is increases your damage by 4% and increases raptor strike by 15%.
But we're going to be getting our shoulders, head, and whatever pieces pretty early, right? So we're going to be breaking those tier sets pretty early.
Yeah, I think by the time you get rid of your legendaries, I think you'll have one in each Azerite slot. So shoulders, helm, and chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think that the tier sets would be short-lived since they're, effectively getting rid of them anyway. But they would just design it so that it would phase out, while we were leveling, probably midway through, if not before.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you hold on to a 2-piece until you hit 120. It's just like two of the slots that don't take up Azerite gear, like legs and cloak or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the 4-piece you're probably going to break real early.
Yeah, and there's some weird stuff with trinkets and pre-patch too. Like some of them do a lot of damage. Like for example, what's it called? The one from the first boss that shoots missiles. Oh, personal prototype decimator or something.
Oh, not high command, not the.
No, the missile one. Now it does a lot of damage.
Gotcha.
Even in single target, a lot. Like last time I tested it, it was doing like 10% of my damage in single target.
Whew. I'll have to pull those out of my bank. I got a whole bunch
I know,
of
it's like you just don't know, right? What's going to be, if you're still raiding and collecting gear and so forth, you don't know. Stuff that's junk now, like, might actually be pretty good in the beginning of BFA. You just never know.
The Pantheon trinket's still really good. It's actually better than it is on live. It does more damage. Yeah, I don't know. Just try it all your trinkets that you might have just thrown in the bank. Some of them might be doing a ton of damage now. And I think it's kind of just Wild West for Blizzard. They probably don't care that much.
Oh yeah,
because everything's so imbalanced in the pre-patch.
Yeah, they've always said that they balance around endgame rather than the couple of months or the month of pre-patch and then the couple of weeks while you level up.
Yeah, I think they only really worry about things if overall, like the overall damage, for example, is too weak, right? They don't want people to feel like they're getting nerfed, going into the end of this expansion. I mean, if one class or spec is lagging behind a little bit from where they were, and I don't think they care about that too much. But if everybody is, then I think that's more of a problem. They'd rather just see us be overpowered and plow through some of this content, and just have some fun, right? It's just like a big fire sale, going away party before we get into BFA. And it's not really for that long, right? It'll be just under a month, I guess, until then we'll get the expansion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that it's next week and not tomorrow. Because, frankly, like a month ago, I would have said July 10th for sure. But I would have lost money if I bet on that. So,
Yeah.
but do you know if there's any sort of level up mechanics? Like for Legion, we had those invasions where you could basically level all of your characters up to 100 to get them ready to go. Are they doing the same thing here, or what are we getting for the pre-patch?
I don't know if there's anything directly like that. I know there's the Teldrassil and Lordaeron stuff, like those scenarios, and then I think after you do them, there's like new world quests in those zones. So it's possible those are like really high XP world quests, but I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And do we know what they're going to do with are the allied races going to be available, like the ones that are out now, or will you still have to get the reputation and go through all that in order to unlock them?
Yeah, you have to get reputation for the Dark Iron Dwarves and the Magheart Orcs. So it'll be a while. I don't know. However long it takes to get to Exalted, so at least a month probably after you level 120.
Right. But like the High Mountain and the Nightborn, the ones that are there now, that were tied to and Taurus, that were tied to
you like the High Mountain rep and the and the Night Fallen rep.
Yeah, like the Void Elves, the Lightforged Draenei, that you had to to get the Argusian Reach rep and the the Lightforged armies and get all that reputation and basically do all those worlds, which takes a while to do. I don't know if they're going to still have that or if they're just going to. I know if I go onto the PTR, and this is maybe because of the PTR, I can create a Nightborn or a High Mountain.
Yeah, that's just a PTR
character
thing.
But that just might be the PTR versus
Yeah, you're still gonna have to get the rep, at least for the time being.
I was gonna say they still haven't nerfed the requirements for flying on Draenor, so I don't see them nerfing the requirements for allied races at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that they should. It's just that I know they don't like people going back and spending time doing the old content, and this is probably something that's cool enough that you might want to actually go back and invest the time. Like if you're just coming back now.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of catch-up thing, because it is weird. Like if you're 120 and you're going back to do Argusian Reach world quests.
That's true, but it doesn't. I mean, with the world quests, with some of the boosts and stuff like that, and being able to kill everything solo, I don't see that being too much of a time sink.
Right.
I mean, it's still faster than Draenor. Draenor was actually daily quests and weekly quests that you literally needed, what was it, 27 days or something like that in order to get Draenor flying from scratch.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was like, because obviously a lot of us did it as we went along, so didn't feel that.
Oh, I did it after.
That painful.
I did it after Legion came out, and I hadn't started it at all before Legion, and it was painful. It was.
But yeah, no, I understand about that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, like I said, I was trying to been catching up on things, so doing the Mage Tower, clearing Antorus, and getting those reputations so I could unlock the allied races, at least on the Alliance side. So I went and have done that. But then I was looking at other mounts that I didn't have, and for whatever reason, I was playing a lot during when Nighthold was. We were at that was current, but somehow I didn't complete all the Suramar stuff. So I finally went and I said, "Oh, you get a nice, cool mount for doing that." And so I went and kind of did a whole bunch of that in one fell swoop, and wasn't hard, but it was tedious.
It was a pretty good quest line, though, I would say.
It was, but if I think it's probably more enjoyable if you did it when it was current, right? And because I think some of that was staged, right? You'd reach a point, and then that was the end, and then next week or something they would unlock some more stuff for you.
Yeah, they actually did take away those barriers a little while back. There were some time barriers, and I think with this latest patch 7.3, I think they actually took away all the barriers. Yeah,
so I didn't. Like I said, I didn't experience any of the time barriers, but but then getting it all at once. Sometimes there's something to be said for having that little bit of a time barrier, doing it in chunks versus trying to do it all at once. And it's just like one quest after another, after another, after another.
Speaking of allied races, is Mole Machine the best racial ever, or is it the best?
I was
racial
reading
ever?
about that. That thing looks awesome. I don't know how long before they change that, but that looks pretty cool.
That might be my favorite. I mean, I still have my Mole Machine that takes you to Black Rock Mountain, and I occasionally pop that out and tell people not to click on it and watch as people click on it. So I'm gonna actually probably have that out alongside other people that are Dark Iron Dwarves using their racials and play roulette.
Yep.
That should be fun.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I mean, that's their racial. It's a Mole Machine, and it's allows you to teleport yourself to different places.
Yeah, and it's like Stormwind, Ironforge, the Grim Guzzler, and then all over the place, like every expansion.
Yeah, so I guess
somehow you can even tunnel underground to other planets and other timelines.
I actually dropped it in Argus and it tunneled people to Black Rock Mountain. So that's all I have to say. But so the news recently was that the secret finding community had found the places to unlock all the additional places, right? That you could have the Mole Machine tunnel to you to. I think that was in the news recently. So what do you know what they come with by default? The cities, right?
I'm pretty sure it's just Stormwind, Orgrimmar, and then the racial hub. So in Blackrock, like Grim Guzzler area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's what's called Shadowforged City is the
That's
name
right,
of the
yeah.
Dark Iron place. But it's a friendly instance of Blackrock Depths.
Yeah, so there's various mole machines in Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, Outland, Northrend, Pandaria, Draenor, and Broken Isles. And I'm sure there'll probably be some on the new continents as well.
Mm-hmm. And so I think you have to find them and click on them once, and then that unlocks it for you permanently, right?
Right. But that's going to be nice for just getting around. And I mean, whenever you need to get to the old world, it always seems like it takes you forever to get there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to have it teleport that close.
Yeah, I remember.
It's only a 30-minute cooldown, too.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's the without the guild bonus Hearthstone cooldown. But yeah, I remember when the quest said to go to Silithus, and I was like, okay, what's the best way to go to Silithus? And I had to think for a second. And
what is the best? I usually go to the Caverns of Time. I mean, that's one way to get there.
I
Just
usually
shortcut it a
teleport.
little bit.
I go to Orgrimmar and then to Uldum, and then you just do one flight point northwest, and then you're about, I don't know, like a minute flying, just in the air.
I use my ultra safe transporter to Gadgetzan.
Oh, well, that works too. So yeah, it's a lot of ways to get there.
Yeah,
But
between the mole machine engineering, and I also have like the challenge mode teleports from the Pandaria and Draenor. It's like I'm like better than a mage.
Yeah. Almost GM levels of teleporting.
So I'm definitely going Dark Iron. Like I already have my race change purchased. I just haven't used it yet.
Are you going to change Bendak into a Dark Iron Dwarf? Is that the plan?
Definitely right away.
I'm considering that for Darkbrew as well.
Are there any limitations on skin and hairstyles, or with the race change? Like, do you get to recustomize more or less? In the past, there were some options that you weren't allowed to do unless you were creating a new character. Is that still true, or is it just whatever.
I don't think that's true. No.
Okay.
You can do everything. All the flaming beards.
All it's the important stuff, right? You got to get the one pony that gives you or the pony keg pony, and just have that follow you all around.
Yeah, their DPS Rachel is pretty good too. At least right now, it's one of the best ones.
Is that the one that purges something?
Yeah, you use it; it gives you agility. But if it dispels something off you, it gives you even more agility.
Gotcha. So can you can you actually like afflict yourself with something that you can purge out, or is it something that you have to wait for an enemy to?
You have to wait, but I mean, there'll be some situations where you can use it, but most of the time you're just going to be using it as a DPS cooldown.
That should be nice. I have an orc as my main, and so I'll be going to the chiropractors the first day there, for sure.
Stand up straight,
Oh,
finally.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. About damn time. But yeah, so the BFA allied races aren't coming out until BFA comes out, right? Like the Kultiran humans and
Zandalar trolls.
Zandalar trolls, yeah. Right?
Yeah, those are I don't know when they're coming out. It's probably a later patch. Because I don't even think the racials are out for those yet.
Oh really? Okay. They're not coming out with the launch?
No, just Dark Iron and Magar.
Okay.
And of course, if you race change, you need to level one up, right, to get the transmog outfit.
Yeah, to get the armor set.
Yeah. So that's just something to keep in mind. Can you use a boost on that, I wonder, and
No.
speed it along, or
No.
So,
I'm pretty sure not.
you got to go straight from 20 to whatever max level.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure people have asked that question. I think I remember reading that you cannot use a boost on it.
Nope. Have fun with 60 to 80. That's all I got to say.
Even earlier, the whole thing just seems tedious. I created a void elf, and just it's a struggle. I mean, I'm trying to do it through questing and things. I should probably just run a bunch of dungeons or something. I don't even know how much more efficient that is these days, but
I only found 60 to 80 to be brutal. Like the other stuff wasn't too bad. Like especially like Pandaria was still good. Draenor, all I did was fly around and collect treasures.
Oh yeah, treasures do give you quite a bit of XP. So the 60 to 80, there's a couple of scaling zones, right? So you can outright skip BC entirely if you wanted to. Is that correct?
Yeah, but Northern's still really dated.
Yeah.
what, in terms of just the quests themselves or everything, or
Everything, like the quests, how they are, it's just tedious.
Yeah, I mean, you forget now that really Burning Crusade is like the oldest content in the game at this point, and followed by Northrend. That all the entire old world was redone with Cataclysm. So that, I mean, there's some of the same quests, but all those zones were redone and modernized a bit.
Yeah, I know there's a new Jewel Crafter gem that gives 5% XP too, but you can only use one.
Oh. Oh, well,
Yeah, I don't have rings either, like heirloom, in terms of the other heirloom items. The rings, I think, I still don't have rings yet.
yeah, you can spend time, what was it, the time walking tokens to upgrade gear or buy heirloom gear too. So if you have extra of that, be sure.
Pretty expensive though.
It is pretty expensive.
Yeah, upgrading it so it goes to 110. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not cheap. I was looking at that. If I wanted to do it and just pay gold for that, I was looking at like 66,000 gold or something for the pieces that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
drop in the bucket if you're trying to save for that Brutosaur mount.
Yeah. How much is that?
5 million.
5 million. Yeah.
Oh, they're really trying to gold sink. Well, it's because these order hall resources have all been converted into like thousands and thousands of gold. I mean, there's some people running these every single day, and you can get like 10,000 gold every couple of days, or even per day if you have like alts.
If you have enough alts, you can definitely get 10,000 a day.
Mm-hmm. So, putting all that gold in, you're going to need to build another gold sink. And so. But is there? I heard inklings of a new garrison system in BFAs. Is that true? I haven't really heard it. Yeah, something about building like garrison stuff in BFA. Is that just?
Are you talking about Warfronts?
I heard something about like sending your followers on quests. Is that?
Well, that's just. I think that's just like existing follower missions, isn't it?
I am woefully unprepared for this line of questioning.
Yeah, well, I don't think they have anything planned like a full-blown garrison, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were to continue like the missions that we have today.
Just to be honest, they should have saved the shipyard for this expansion.
Right?
Absolutely. Recreate that or do something with that. The question is now are they going to nerf the gold rewards out of Legion?
Yeah,
I would assume so.
Did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty good.
Probably just resources now or something.
Yeah, speaking of those missions, with the changes they did, the artifact open that one to get like the 19 billion that takes like 3 days, that's totally became worthless.
Yeah, and 200 gold is not worth it. I think that's you can sell them now, but
yeah, right. But I think you only get 25. Do you get 200 for that one?
Some of them give you 20, or I think the basic one gives you 25. I think the
that would give you more. I know, billion. I thought like blue quality artifact grants were like 25 gold.
Yeah, and then the 20 billion one was purple quality, I think.
Okay.
And I think those went from 100 to 200.
And you still can't sell the bonus ones that you get from your missions. I think they're going to patch that at some point, but for now, you're just stuck with them.
Well,
I wouldn't even bother with those missions anymore.
Absolutely.
Not easy to do the artifact ones. I just wait for the gold ones to appear, and the one for Argus, I'll do that.
Yeah, not sure how useful 3 billion AP is going to be when your weapon has like 11 quadrillion.
I don't think you can even use them.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't. No. It's funny they're actually making the number that big.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I do like their solution for this scaling problem, which is a percentage, like rather than percentage increase, decrease the amount needed per level as time goes on.
Yeah, I like that too. So
the
100
number
AP is always 100 AP.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it means?
Yeah, so 100 AP, if it takes, 100 AP to level early on, and then later on it only takes 5, your 100 AP will just bring you farther, which is basically the same thing, just with smaller numbers.
Yeah, it just keeps it manageable. So you don't have to look at this thing and say, is 3 billion a lot? Or wait a second.
Yeah, you don't get the Diablo 3 effect where just you look at the first 3 numbers and you don't care about the rest. Well, it's coming up.
It is, yeah. But one other thing worth noting too is remember a lot of the older pet models are getting upgraded in Battle for Azeroth. So I think that'll be come into effect. Usually comes into effect with a pre-patch. So some of your existing pets will look a little different than they do today. I mean, some are nice. I thought the hyenas. I thought they did a really nice job with the hyenas. We talked about that before, but it's sort of it depends on what I mean. It's everyone will have their own personal feelings about that. I don't know how much I like the new gorilla looks compared to the old, but
well, and there's the new pet families too.
Yeah, we
right
is the new background on our show here.
Yeah, lizards.
Yeah, I haven't looked to see if they're going to be any in the existing areas now, or if they'll all come from places that will be released with the expansion.
There's new ones like you can go to Ungoro Crater and tame a pterodax.
Oh, true.
You can go tame like frogs, like on Timeless Isle. Lizards, those also include the only ones you can tame in pre-patch will be the Dimetrodons. Those are in Ungoro, and I think there's some in like Burning Steppes and stuff like that.
Are there new mechanicals?
There is not in the pre-patch.
Okay, it's after BFA.
In BFA, there's mechanical tigers.
Yeah, but they did do a rework on that mechanical gorilla too, right? That looks pretty good.
Yeah, and the mechanical chicken has a new model too.
And do gnomes start with a mechanical still? Did that one?
Yeah, they still get the mechanical rabbit.
Yeah, I think that one got a update too, right?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
That one was already fairly new. But there's other ones like you can tame like the Dream Runners, aka unicorns. In the Legion zones. I can't even think of the name. Azuna.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Val'sharah. I don't think that's right. Is it in Val'sharah or both?
I think it's Azuna. Maybe both.
Okay. Yeah, so that should be more than enough content starting next week for you to go back and find what stuff you need to tame. Get some prep work.
Yeah, I saw an interesting post on Wowhead too. They were talking about changes to Mythic Plus, and the raging affix.
Mm-hmm.
When an enemy is below 30% health, they get 100% damage buff.
Yeah.
And BFA hunters will be able to remove that damage buff.
Oh, really? I thought they didn't give us Trank Shot. Is it on something else?
Some pets can do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Like a Spirit Beast, for example.
Mm-hmm. Well, more reason to get a Spirit Beast. They're still not tenacity. They're still
Air tenacity.
Oh, they're
tenacity.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
They're no longer ferocity.
Which is good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we want, right?
There's a bunch of pets. There's a bunch of pets that can do that too. They have the tranquilize effect.
Mm-hmm.
But only hunters and druids can remove those in rages.
Wow, okay.
And that's going to be huge in Mythic Plus.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're doing Mythic Plus seasons now. So every season there's going to be one affix that's consistent along those couple of weeks of that season. And I think they're redoing the way that it scales too. So the first affix that you get is is what used to be the last affix that you got. What was it?
Yep. Tyrannical or fortified.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get the first, so it's like there's regular mythic dungeons, and then so +2 will have tyrannical or fortified. Mm-hmm. And then level 4, level 7, you still get something, and then level 10 is the seasonal affix. So there's 4 total affixes.
Yeah, and that should be fun. They're making it much more a much cleaner scaling, model than 1 through 9, and then 10 through everything else.
Yeah, and from what I hear, since with Battle for Azeroth, they're designing it all the dungeons with Mythic Plus in mind, and not as a tacked on thing.
Mm.
There's no more silly. There's like a lot less scaling issues, like a lot less
Karazhan.
a lot less bosses that have one-shot abilities, basically.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Because the Mythic Plus scales the damage and health so much,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice because hard mechanics are okay, but when it's like when you just die and you can't avoid it, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
The only way to survive it is to use like a tank trinket as a DPS.
Yeah, and with the loss of a bunch of our legendary abilities or our legendary items, we're gonna have to retool. So hopefully they have this much more balanced and less ridiculous.
Although we gained some of those defensive things from Azerite traits.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like there's like a Pride as one, and then there's another one. I forget what it's called, but when you feign death, you gain an absorb shield, which is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, although I mean, it does make the MDI very interesting to watch because some of those mistakes are so heavily punished, and it's just fun to watch other people fail on things that you've died from. Hi, Foxy.
I've missed you guys.
Hey.
Well, we missed you too. We're back, sort of. We're still on a little bit of an uneven schedule, waiting for pre-patch and BFA, and then we'll get our act together here.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you back. I haven't talked to you guys in a while.
Yeah. What are you doing to prep for BFA or for pre-patch?
I'm being irresponsible and playing D3.
Did you get all the gear that you wanted out of Legion?
All except for the trinket. I don't think anything else really matters right now. I finally did my BM appearance challenge. I never even tried it, and then I was like, maybe I should do this. So I read Bendak's guide and beat it on the second try.
There you go. Did you put any macros in?
No, well, I had macros similar to what was already built, so I just used those and changed a few things.
Yep.
Yeah, your guide was extremely helpful. I used that too. I think it took me 3 tries to do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it until I put the macros in.
Yeah, I think it was one that he had that I didn't, but I can't remember exactly what it was.
That's good. Did you do the MM one as well?
I tried it and I did like 10 tries, and I just couldn't. I just got frustrated and was like, forget it.
Did you try it now with your unlocked?
Oh, I forgot about that. I had that quest forever, and I was like, I don't even know what this is for. I don't care, and I never did it until yesterday.
Oh well, so you should try it again now with what is it, 80, 80 AP on your.
Yeah, because I think I was at 76.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those last couple of levels add a lot.
But yeah, I'm going to give that a try, I think. But time's running out. We suspect, we're thinking the 17th is when they'll drop that pre-patch. So just about a week left to get this done now.
Yep, and get your vigilance perch, and what else was there? Save your high eye level relics. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and get your Violet Raven mount.
I think that you might be able to do that right till the end of BFA or Legion.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think so. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure.
To be safe. But yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, you can save it, because I bet the raids after the pre-patch will be pretty ridiculous. Because if there's any broken classes, they'll just carry the rest of the raid.
I thought that
Yeah.
quest. Do we know if the Violet Spellwing, if we be able to? I think that goes away with the pre-patch, no? Or does it go away with BFA?
I thought it was BFA, but I'm not sure.
I know, like the mythic mounts will drop, I think, with the pre-patch. Like so like if you're farming Gul'dan, for example, I think that
Crap. Yeah.
will not be a guarantee after the pre-patch.
Well, I wasn't planning on getting that mythic Gul'dan mount anyway, but yeah.
No, the group I'm in's just sort of been going in there each week and trying to get everybody there what they can.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, I'm there too late, so I won't get it. But
Hey, you never know. There's still another week, right?
yeah, another week. Well, the way they do it is they're keeping score, so to speak.
Oh.
So every week you go without getting it, like they'll allow you to add like another 10.
Gotcha. So
Roll.
you're probably not gonna get it, is what you're saying.
So I'm like rolling out. I've only done it twice. So I'm like rolling out of 120, but there's people that are really unlucky.
Gotcha.
So
Like me.
Like what? Like you? Yeah. I mean, there's always a chance, right? Someone could roll a 1 and I could, whatever, but it's unlikely.
So you can get the Violet Spellring raid up until BFA.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good. That's a fun mount.
Yeah, that one requires normal, right? Or is it heroic?
Heroic.
Okay.
Heroic.
So yeah, look, I'm sure there's going to be some carrying going on after the pre-patch. So that should be
You think so? Even with the patch not, even with it going away, you think so? People are going to pay for that?
well, I mean, if you don't have it, I'm sure there's going to be a market for it, I'm sure. And here's the other question: is it going to be on the black market auction house at all? Wonder.
Well, the Moose isn't, so I doubt it.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I suspect they once it's gone, it's gone. You won't be able to get it.
All right. Well, we're just bumping up against an hour here.
Well, I wish I would have known you guys were going to do a podcast. Definitely would have came on earlier.
Hey, I
so-
tagged you in the WHU channel.
Oh, maybe because I was streaming.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Also for the pre-patch, like for dealing with the changes and stuff, I know Wowhead's gonna have guides up. Like I'll be doing the Beast Mastery one, and there'll be also marksmanship and survival ones too. So you can check those out if you want to see, how to adapt to all the new talents and changes and stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to, once you get that going, I'll make sure it's pinned in the Hunter Discord.
All right. Well, I'm glad you dropped in, Foxy. But I think that's it for today. We've been here about an hour, but yeah, we'll try and get another show. Maybe see if we can get another one before the expansion goes live.
Maybe we need to see if we can probably catch up with Roger, see if he'll join.
That would be good. Yeah, we haven't tried to reach out to him in a while, so yeah, no, it'd be good to talk to him, get his thoughts on everything too, as always. Get Delirium back on here. He did finally reach back out to me. He was just busy tonight, so he couldn't do it. But
Yeah, he couldn't talk about survival at all because we have no experience with survival in BFA.
no, we don't.
No one has it, and it's going to be so interesting to see who even tries to switch over, even if it is the top DPS spec.
I mean, nobody has the models up yet, right? So you can't really, we don't know what the end game gear is going to be yet, right? Or do we?
Well, we know the gear that's going to be in the first raid.
Oh, okay. So never mind. Then who knows? Maybe survival will be the top DPS, but and
Yeah, it's too early to say that because the tuning is not anywhere near done.
Yeah. And it never is, especially for us.
No, it's not. I mean, and we probably won't see much in the way of that until Battle for Azeroth drops and we get close to the first raid, you know? They're certainly not going to tune much during the pre-patch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, you have been listening to episode 272 of the Hunting Party Podcast. I'm Darkbrew from thebrewhall.com and the Brew Hall on Twitter.
I'm Bendak from Eyes of the Beast and Bendak WoW on Twitter.
And this is Foxy from Warcraft Hunters Union.
All right, check us out on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or add our RSS feed to your reader. And we have these links available in the show notes. I don't know, people use readers anymore these days. I have no idea. It just sounds old now.
RSS? Well, I still have all my podcasts off of RSS, so... But maybe I'm an old hat. I don't know.
I don't know. And if you have a question or topic you'd like us to discuss on the show, email us at huntingpartypodcast@gmail.com, or you can just send us a tweet at huntingpartypod. On that note, stay thirsty, my friends, and remember to drink your dark brew lager.
Keep your eyes on the beast.
Go to BlizzCon.
Life stealer, that's just because of being awesome sauce. A dues payer, a boss slayer. I rock out with my lockout I can jump shot, BM, MM, and SV. I can rock out any tree. Never worried about my threat, 'cause I've got FD and misdirect. Catching loose mobs in my traps. I never miss, 'cause I am hit capped. 'Cause I'm the hunter, not the marked. I'm the fighter, not the spark. I'm the kiger, not the kite. I'll top meters every fight. Raiding and cave, dealing death. Just me, my gun, and my trusty bed. Now let's begin with Illidan, Osirian, and Gil'jadan, Magdamar, Asgalor, Gruul, Cthulhu, and Razorgore.